This is 7 News.
Tonight, farewell Jim Stynes. Thousands packed the streets to honour an AFL great.
You were a warrior poet who was ahead of his time.
Danger on the tracks, the Perth people risking their lives in front of trains.
More cost of living pain on the way for struggling West Australians.
And a paralysed Perth policeman's flight of hope.
From the studios of 7 Perth, Ardon and Susannah Carr.
Good evening. We start with breaking news. There's been a verdict in the trial of an 82-year-old man accused of a murder in Woodlands 20 years ago. Sally Bowery is at the court. And Sally, what's the jury decided?
So after deliberating for around 5 hours a short time ago, the jury handed down its verdict, finding Ronald Pennington not guilty of murder, but guilty of manslaughter. Now, it follows a week-long trial during which it is involved a 20-year cold case murder. The victim, Carrie Anderson Slater, disappeared in 1992. The last place she was seen was outside Pennington's home in Woodlands after she was dropped off by a taxi driver. Last year, her remains were found in the backyard of Pennington's former home during a demolition of the property. Outside court this evening, Mrs. Anderson Slater's daughter Melanie said the verdict was a relief for the family.
The people of Perth have found her, convicted her killer, and brought her home to her family, where she belongs.
During the trial, the court heard that Mr. Pennington believed he had been set up and said that Mrs. Anderson Slater's husband had more of a motive to kill his wife. But David Slater has always maintained his innocence. Just recapping, a short time ago, a jury has handed down its verdict in the case of Ronald Pennington. They've found him not guilty of murder, but guilty of manslaughter. Rick.
Thanks, Sally. Thousands of people lined the streets of Melbourne today to farewell AFL great Jim Stynes. He died of cancer last week, aged 45. The mourners at his state funeral heard that the father of two was much more than a champion sportsman.
A public warning has been issued after a series of terrifying near misses at Perth train stations. Security video released today shows people jumping onto the tracks and running in front of the trains. Blake Johnson reports.
West Leederville Station, July last year. A track jumper waits for one train but doesn't see until late there's another coming the other way. From a different angle, that moment of realisation, so close to being crushed by a 100-tonne train, one of more than 100 level crossing incidents last year. Videos of near misses at Perth stations were handed out by Transport Minister Troy Buswell today, part of a national safety campaign that includes ads in cinemas and on Facebook to target young people.
It's almost seen as a rite of passage for young people to test themselves and to test their bravery, apparently, in front of trains, and that is just plain stupid.
The campaign also shows the effect track jumpers have on others: transit guards, doctors, train drivers.
So I applied the emergency brake and I just slid down in my seat and I just waited. And I was thinking, stop, stop, stop. And then I lost sight of the gentleman. I heard a bang.
And this, an ad that turns train tracks into the zipper on a body bag.
It is shocking, but I make no apologies for that.
A train doing 130 kilometres an hour takes 600 metres to stop. It's classified a near miss when the driver hits the emergency brake and sounds the horn. Last year, that happened 19 times. That's almost 2 every month. Blake Johnson, 7 News.
A former Perth boxing champ has been robbed of more than $100,000 cash. He'd been saving the money to open a new gym for underprivileged teenagers. Grant Taylor has the story.
If paying your home power bills is a growing worry, you're not alone. A new survey has found a staggering 63% of West Australians are more worried about paying their utility bills than keeping their job. Jessica Vanderende reports.
Western Australia's economy is the envy of many cities around the world, but a new survey has found families aren't seeing the benefits. 63% of 400 respondents are worried about rising utility bills. 60% are worried generally about living costs. The Chamber of Commerce says it's a crisis of confidence, fuelled by scenes like this overseas. Charities say the financial strain is real. Foodbank is helping feed 40,000 West Australian families a week and says demand last month was 34% higher than last year.
As people are trying to make that little bit amount of money go as far as they possibly can.
Spending more on electricity, groceries, petrol means there's less left over to spend here, and that's hurting retailers. The study says people are choosing to save instead, preparing for more pain the state government says is coming, particularly when it comes to the cost of electricity.
We're not close to being cost reflective yet, so we've still got a way to go, but we'll be slowing it down.
The Energy Minister says power prices will rise again this year, up to 5%, after a 57% increase over the past 3 years. The government admits it's risking votes.
Families are hurting. A lot of people benefit out of the boom, but many are not.
Jessica Vanderende, 7 News.
A Perth police officer left paralysed by a mosquito bite is on his way to America for what he hopes is life-changing treatment. Samantha Jolly was with Ryan Marin and his partner as they set off on their emotional journey.
Ryan Marin is hoping this will be a journey to recovery.
Once we actually get in here and get settled, that's when I think I'll feel the relief.
A 30-hour trip to Chicago, the first hurdle. Ryan's partner Tony and brother Jeremy by his side for the long flight.
That's it. Well done.
Ryan had his drinks order sorted early.
What are you going to ask the air hostess when she comes around? What are you going to ask for?
Duff beer, please. Duff beer, please.
They might be leaving WA, but Tony and Ryan will still have support when they get to America. When they land, Chicago police will be waiting, ready to help, and will escort them to their rehabilitation clinic. It's been a year since Constable Ryan Marin was paralysed by a mosquito bite on duty in the Kimberley. This journey, an emotional one. Tony believes his only shot at a full recovery is through the Rehabilitation Institute of Chicago. With a $400,000 government donation and community fundraising, they can afford at least 5 months of treatment.
My number one goal is for Ryan to regain his independence and be able to return to work. That's the number one goal, and if anything, if I would put anything on the top of the list, it's getting Ryan's voice back.
Great to see you go.
Constable Marin will start his therapy on Monday. Samantha Jolly, 7 News.
Kyle Sandilands won't be personally penalised over offensive on-air comments he made about a female journalist, but his radio station has been slapped with a broadcasting code violation and new rules designed to curb the shock jock.
Stay with us ahead on 7 News. A big boost for WA's sick kids.
Plus crash landing, the hot air balloon trip that ended even hotter.
And Oscar-winning director James Cameron's dive to the depths of the ocean.
Explosives have been found in a Carramar backyard. The bomb squad was called in to remove the explosives, which were not active. They were located this morning during excavation work in the Carwoola Circle backyard, where a hole was being dug for a swimming pool. Police say there was no risk to public safety.
A new machine worth almost $2 million was unveiled at Princess Margaret Hospital today. It's the fastest CT scanner in the world and delivers the lowest dose of radiation of any machine like it.
It does things far faster than ever before, and one of the big savings is on the need for children to have a general anaesthetic.
Princess Margaret Hospital does about 3,000 CT scans a year. Telethon put in $700,000 for the machine. The state government, $1.2 million.
3 young men have narrowly escaped death when their hot air balloon crashed into power lines and burst into flames. The wire was carrying more than 100,000 volts.
It was all a bit of a blur, to be honest. It was all over quite quickly, but yeah, there was a bit of a bang, well, a big bang, and the basket did catch alight.
The group was aiming to land in a field, but a sudden wind gust drove the balloon onto the power lines.
Oscar-winning film director James Cameron has surfaced from his journey to the bottom of the world's deepest ocean. His Australian-designed capsule survived the journey, which he's compared with travelling to another planet.
And Basil's here with sport now. Ross Lyon live tonight, Baz.
For the first time, Sue, yes, and looking forward to it. Live and exclusive after the break, plus on the training track with the coach. Ross Lyon takes us into the middle.
As you run the angle, you're getting corralled over.
And a new 2-year deal for the Glory coach. News. I'll see you then. Here, Eric and Sue. Good night.
Thanks, Baz. Still to come in 7 News, where to buy the cheapest petrol in Perth.
And Natalia Cooper is here with the week's weather. Back soon.
Hello, Natalia Cooper with you. More of that beautiful autumn sunshine today. We've got a few more fine days ahead, but then we're in for a few days of showers. Currently, it's 21.7, humidity 71%. Our top today was 27.4, and overnight the temperature dipped to 13.2. There was definitely a little chill in the air this morning. Bullsbrook with a minimum of 9. Temperatures around the metro area were mostly in the high 20s today. Northam a bit warmer with 31. Around the rest of the state, the southwest had a cold night, 5 in Jarrawood and 6 degrees in Bridgetown. There were showers and storms overnight in central parts due to a mid-level disturbance. Ningen Station in the Gascoyne had 77 millimetres. Tomorrow, a couple of showers around in Albany and Esperance, and Kalgoorlie could get a thunderstorm. If we look at the satellite, that showery and stormy activity will continue through central parts of WA and extend into northeastern parts of the southwest land division. Onshore winds will bring those couple of showers to the south coast. Interstate tomorrow, a shower or two for Brisbane and Sydney, but mostly sunny in Adelaide and Melbourne. Boating forecast, east to southeast winds 13 to 18 knots, shifting south to southwest 15 to 20 early afternoon, and southeast 13 to 18 in the late evening. Seas to 1.5 metres and swell to 2 metres. So sunny skies again tomorrow. We're going for a top of 30 down to 16 tonight, then mostly sunny and 31 on Thursday, 25 on Friday, 26 on Saturday, a late shower on Sunday ahead of a very wet Monday and Tuesday in Perth. And before I go, happy 100th birthday to Phyllis Semple of Como, and hello to the girls from Year 11 at St Hilda's. Here's Oslotto.
And on this sunny Tuesday, that's all from the 7 News desk for now.
We'll have news updates throughout the evening. Now here's Monica with Today Tonight.